Li Mu traveled through the national era and became the junior brother of Jiushu. He also gained 2 golden fingers, a strange check.in system, and latitude authority in his invincible life in the zombie world. Here are the old 9 gates and the anti-Japanese war period, and there will still be a stalemate in the future. We will consider whether to write about Chaoshen. Chapter 1. Maoshan Imperial Ghost Meridian. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Maoshan Imperial Ghost Clan has always had fewer people. After all, the Imperial Ghost Clan is relatively secluded and cannot be considered righteous. Most of the Imperial Ghost Clan are from the side, or they are evil cultivators. If it weren't for the fact that most of the ancestors of Maoshan worked in the underworld, Maoshan may not have the Imperial Ghost Clan. Until now, there are only 2 or 3 members of the Yugui lineage, and Li Mu is now only 16 years old. He is now a solo descendant of the Yugui lineage. Although he is the smallest member of the Imperial Ghost Clan, there are too few members of the Imperial Ghost Clan. He is also of the same generation as the famous Thunderbolt King Shi Jian, which means he is now the junior brother of the 9th uncle Lin Fengjiao. That's right, Li Mu is a transmigrator, or rather a reincarnation into a zombie world that is more suitable. Because when he was pregnant or fertilized, Li Mu felt the general situation. As for why do you say that? Perhaps due to time travel, his true spirit was imbued with the power of latitude. When he was pregnant, his true spirit merged with the power of latitude and became a world of latitude. His true spirit is the world of latitude, and it can be said that he can do whatever he wants in this world of latitude, which is even more terrifying than the heavenly way. After all, the world of latitude is him. Due to the fact that true spirits are part of the latitudinal world, the quality of the souls they conceive is extremely terrifying, and they will grow stronger with the growth of the latitudinal world in the future. At the same time, they will also create a huge spiritual power, which, under the influence of terrifying spiritual power and souls, gives birth to extraordinary constitutions in the mother body. That is to say, as long as Li Mu's dimensional world becomes stronger, he will become stronger comprehensively without an upper limit. After all, no one knows where the upper limit of the world is. It can be said that Li Mu has benefited greatly, which is also the reason why he was brought to Maoshan in this chaotic era. His parents died in the war shortly after giving birth to him, and orphans like him were brought back by Maoshan. However, most of them have a talent for cultivation and spirituality, and Li Mu was brought to Maoshan because of his extraordinary physique. Perhaps it is the constitution nurtured by the influence of spiritual power and soul that makes his constitution very similar to the legendary spiritual body, which is why he was adopted as a disciple by the Imperial Ghost sect. You should know that he is currently younger than the disciples of Uncle Jiu, and coupled with the danger of the Imperial Ghost lineage, he lacks strong spirituality and is easily influenced by ghosts. He can become neither human nor ghost, and easily embark on the path of evil cultivation. Due to physical reasons, Li Mu has now cultivated the Mu Gui Jing in Maoshan to a young age. Because he is relatively young, his master did not let him ward off ghosts. The Mu Gui Jing in Maoshan emphasizes the cultivation of extreme yin and yang, which is an authentic Taoist mental technique. Without the extremely yin ghost energy to assist in cultivation, it is possible, but it will be very slow. Li Mu's cultivation to a young age is already remarkable. After so many years of hard work and extraordinary talent, Li Mu is now a 5th-level teacher. The cultivation realm is divided into 5 major realms: Heavenly Master, Earth Master, Human Master, Taoist, and Taoist. Each major realm is further divided into 10 levels. Li Mu currently has 5 levels of human teacher skills, coupled with his strong spiritual abilities, which gives him unforgettable abilities and strong learning abilities. He is very proficient in drawing symbols, arranging formations, fortune-telling, and feng shui. It can be said that he can already be considered a little master. He is already 16 and is about to descend the mountain. He is preparing to go down the mountain to find Uncle Jiu. How could he not participate in the plot when he comes to the zombie world? Besides, we always need to find a place to settle down when going down the mountain. Uncle Joe's place is not bad. Suddenly, the eerie check that IN system has been bound. Would you like to sign in immediately? Chapter 2. Strange check-in system. You are listening at novel full.audio. Weird check.in system. Li Mu said with a very serious expression. You should know that his true spirit now is the world of latitude, and his control over the world of latitude can be said to be omniscient and omnipotent. That is to say, he has complete control over his true spirit, which in turn has complete control over his soul and spirit, and his soul and spirit have complete control over his body. It can be said that he has complete control over everything about himself, and he can divide cells. Even transforming oneself and repairing one's own cells and soul with energy. That is to say, after cultivating and possessing magical power, he doesn't have to worry about his lifespan at all. His body has become very strong in order to adapt to his soul and spirit. It can be said that he is currently in the most perfect state. In the future, as the dimensional world becomes stronger, there will be no uncontrollable situations at any time, which means that he will not have the phenomenon of being possessed or poisoned. How could Li Mu not feel uneasy when suddenly a voice that shouldn't have appeared in his mind? However, he did not feel hopeless either. After all, the voice did not appear in the true spirit, not in the dimensional world. The true spiritual dimension world is his foundation. As long as there are no problems, he can reincarnate without the body and soul. Li Mujing carefully felt everything about herself, and if there was no abnormality in her body, it was a problem with her soul. Sure enough, there is a eerie symbol on the soul, so this is probably the eerie check.in system, right? Speaking of which, he was not unaware of this thing. When he first traveled to this world, a strange aura wrapped around his true spirit. Later, his true spirit and the power of latitude formed a world of latitude, and this aura was captured by Tan Fei, appearing again on his soul when it was conceived. It was originally intended to be stripped off, but it reappeared on the newly conceived soul. There is no way to take it for a while. Its essence is very high, and the true spiritual dimension world can only isolate, cannot control and harm it, so there is no way to take it. Today, I want to see what you are. Li Mu thought to himself. Sign in, Li Mu whispered slowly. Ding, the sign in is sickly. With a sound, a cold and gloomy aura appeared in Li Mu's body, merging with his throat. The cold and gloomy aura began to spread within Li Mu's body, and the luck of his consciousness slowly transformed into the pure yang magic. Renshur 6th floor, Renshur 7th floor, Renshur 8th floor, keep breaking through until the 3rd floor of the division before stopping. If anyone else in Maoshan sees it, they will definitely be scared to death. You should know that there is a great realm among the 8 levels, which is impossible. You should know that geography is not easy to break through. Many people in Maoshan are stuck at the peak of human geography and cannot break through for a lifetime. Even a genius needs to prepare for several months before they can break through, unlike Li Mu who has broken through directly now. But for Li Mu, these are not important. After the breakthrough is completed and the magic is calmed down. Once again, I felt my body was no longer cold, but Li Mu knew it was all superficial. Li Mu, who had complete control over his body, felt a slight loss of control in his throat, and something had gradually merged into his throat. Li Mu knew that this was a strange sign in system. However, he is not very worried. The illness and deceit cannot affect his true spirit. After feeling for a while, there was no further movement. Li Mu leaned towards his throat with the spiritual power he knew. Chapter 3. Sickness and Mysteries. You are listening at novel full.audio. As the spiritual power reached my throat, it felt chilly. Decay. Weakness. Fear and other feelings constantly corrode Li Mu's spirit. It seems that spiritual power alone cannot reveal anything. Feeling this situation, Li Mu also explored his soul power. Cough. Li Mu felt like he was coughing, as if he was going to get sick, and his soul was feeling weak. Is the soul sick? I have never felt like this before, as if my soul is almost exhausted, weak. Decay. Numbness. Is this a rule? It shouldn't be a rule. Li Mu was ecstatic in his heart, wanting to know what he lacked the most. Money, power. Rights. Realm. No, none of them are. It's rules, it's rules. You need to know that you have a true spiritual dimension world. But in terms of one dimension, whether one can grow over the years or only grow a little bit based on their own understanding of the rules of this world, let alone the rules above them. You should know that it is the heavenly way that can control it. The heavenly way dictates that you should do whatever you want, and that is the rule. Can Li Mu not be excited to directly integrate the rules into his body now? Li Mu directly used the world power of the true spiritual dimension world to explore, and the decaying atmosphere was the breath of the world. Li Mu directly analyzed the illness with a state of omniscience and omnipotence. 1 day, 2 days, and 1 month passed like this for 2 months. Li Mu already knows what illness is, it's also a ghost. But it's not a ghost that humans become after death, it's a ghost that the world becomes after death, so it's okay to treat it as a ghost. Generally, the death of the world is directly shattered and there is nothing left. Only in the process of death in a very advanced world, some rules stained with the breath of destruction will form ghosts, and this kind of eerie immortality. Because they have overcome the destruction of the world with some indestructible essence, coupled with being rules, it is even more difficult to destroy them. The rule of illness is that as long as you cough, you will cough along and gradually weaken, become sick, and even non-living organisms will corrode and age. At this point of analysis, why does Li Mu feel so familiar? Rules, eerie, immortal. Isn't this the eerie part of the mysterious revival? No wonder it's so familiar, it should have been something I picked up while traveling. After looking at the aura symbol on the soul, it clearly weakened a lot. It should have been consumed by sending the sick monster over. What about the system? I don't think it's another weirdo. However, Li Mu did not touch that sign. There are rules for delivering it to the door, why not? However, in order to reform the Mu Gui Jing, the current Mu Gui Jing is of no use. Li Mu directly activated the omniscient and omnipotent ability of the dimensional world. Extreme Yin generates Yang world corruption the world. So can we transform it by generating a world? Although I cannot create the real world, I can create the spiritual world. Do whatever you want, go straight to the Big Bang. This is the easiest method of creation, but also the most practical. The spiritual power continuously gathered at the 3 eyes on his forehead, compressed with the power of his soul. Slowly, the origin appeared, and the force of the force grew stronger. Slowly, Li Mu felt his spiritual power burning, and the power of his soul felt unable to move. With a loud bang, Li Mu forcefully regained his soul power, feeling completely out of control, but he was able to see everything through the true spiritual dimension of the world. Spiritual energy exploded on the forehead, and a spiritual universe slowly formed. I felt the spiritual energy changing, solid, gaseous, hot, and cold. Chapter 4. Universal Spiritual Power. You are listening at novelfull.audio. With the emergence of different spiritual forces, the universe also rapidly takes shape, but it is still growing. Slowly, spiritual dust appears, the fiery spiritual sun also appears, planets, and finally a small galaxy appear. The spiritual universe is considered to have become. Li Mu directly integrated into his soul and began to take over this universe, as he had his own spiritual power and successfully controlled it. He can feel as if he can use his spiritual power to do everything, fire, water, and even time and space. Li Mu knew that it was due to his own spiritual universe. If it were in the real world, it would be impossible unless his spiritual power was strong enough to influence reality. However, his spiritual power now has the foundation to control all things. When he becomes strong enough in the future, he can also control all things in reality, including time. With the spiritual universe, in a state of omniscience and omnipotence, Li Mu quickly created a new Mu Gui Jing. Due to its indestructible nature, illness and eerie immortality, it constantly produces a decadent aura and has a certain conceptual nature. The spiritual universe will absorb and generate spiritual power to create the universe, and the cold and gloomy atmosphere will be transformed into pure yang magic. The spiritual universe also completely controls disease and deceit, using disease and deceit, just like in the mysterious revival world. However, Li Mu has no side effects or revival, and his body completely integrates disease and deceit. The dimensional world continuously analyzes the rules of disease and deceit. Now Li Mu seems to be a great treasure that can help him become stronger. Not to mention, he is still a great supernatural power close to the conceptual level. From this perspective, he can't help but feel the symbol of the Giri check.in system. It looks weak and will take at least a year to recover. It seems that he can only wait. You should know that the eerie and the mysterious recovery can generate wisdom, so it's better not to be alarmed. If he runs away, he will lose a lot. I feel that my body has become much stronger, and I don't know what strength it is. Instead, my cultivation level has directly increased to 5 levels, and I have jumped 2 levels in a few months, almost catching up with my master. Now I should also pass the level and prepare to go down the mountain. After all, I have been in seclusion for 2 months now. Every person who reaches the level of a human teacher in Maoshan must go down the mountain to practice, while also slaying demons and accumulating merits, in order to break through the realm of a local teacher, unlike myself who has already mastered 5 levels in one go. I packed my things and put down a letter, which was written to my master. Li Mu's master has reached the pinnacle of the Earth Master and has now broken through the Heavenly Master in seclusion. Afterwards, there is also a senior uncle who has also closed down. So basically, Li Mu was the only one involved in the exorcism peak. Otherwise, Li Mu wouldn't have been in such a hurry to go down the mountain to practice his calendar. It would have been boring to be alone for a year, so Li Mu learned all the symbols and so on. After finally reaching the age of 16, Li Mu wanted to go down the mountain to catch ghosts, but now it's strange. He thinks ordinary ghosts are of little use to him. I originally wanted to test the ability of Sick Gui, but now it's on Maoshan. It wouldn't be good if I alarmed the elder, so I'd better leave the mountain early. If the ghost is not caught, wait for the weird check.in system to be delivered to your door, and if the monster is unconscious, there is no need to raise it. Unlike ghosts in this world who need to be cultivated, a bad one can even backfire. Now I have the ability to be sick and mysterious. Going down the mountain is just for fun. After all, I don't have the trouble of being stuck in the realm, and I have absolute control over my body and soul. With energy, I can break through. There is no need for any mental state or merit to break through. Li Mu thinks this way, feeling that the whole person is even more relaxed. He just needs to gradually understand the rules of illness and the concept of immortality to enhance the dimensional world. Li Mu pondered his current situation while reporting to the elders and going down the mountain. Chapter 5. Descending the Mountain. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On a small road leading to Rinjia town at the foot of Maoshan, a figure slowly walked by, sometimes looking east and west, and sometimes looking at pedestrians passing by. At this time, Li Mu was restless. In this era of war, there were occasional bandits and robberies, not to mention the rampant demons and monsters. It was simply a period of chaos and chaos. He is still descending the mountain for the first time, and now he has already made up his mind. Wait a moment, if there is a robbery or something, he will turn around and rob the rich to help the poor, of course, robbing someone else's fortune to help his own poor. Just coming down from Maoshan, I don't have much money. Although Maoshan rules prohibit the use of spells to harm others, there is nothing wrong with using spells to protect myself. By the way, leaving the money to pay for his mental loss, Li Mu actually hopes to encounter robbers or something, otherwise it will be difficult to spend money in Renjia town. Looking left and right, no one came to rob, and there were pedestrians coming and going on the road. It's strange that Li Mu could calm down. Big brother, isn't it that there are wars going on everywhere now? Are there still many bandits robbing us? How come people who come and go are not afraid? Li Mu said to the rushing big brother next to him. Little brother, aren't you from here? What kind of person is still thinking about bandits coming to rob? This big brother thought to himself. It's the people here, it's the people here. Li Mu, who couldn't turn around for a moment, saw this big brother's strange look in his eyes and almost said he was crazy. He didn't offend anyone, did he? Li Mu, who realized something, quickly said. Why do people here still ask like that? At this moment, the big brother also became nervous. He couldn't be the bandit who was going to stampede, could he? I am a Taoist from Maoshan. It's my first time descending the mountain. Didn't I hear from the elders on the mountain that there are wars everywhere and bandits are rampant now? With Li Mu's intelligence, he immediately realized what he had been misunderstood and quickly explained. I turned out to be the Taoist priest of Maoshan. This is at the foot of Maoshan, how dare any bandits come to rob? Looking at the clothes in front of me, who couldn't tell it was a Taoist robe, and the inexperienced white and tender young man, I knew I had misunderstood. Thank you, big brother. I have something to do, so I'll leave first. From knowing that I am from Maoshan, the big brother's gaze at me became fiery, and he quickly said goodbye, feeling something was wrong. Taoist. Taoist. What can you do just now when you came down the mountain? Come and sit with me. Looking at the handsome and tender Taoist, one knew that those who have not suffered on the mountain must have a considerable position in Maoshan. If they become friends with their own sister, they will not enjoy their own happiness. Li Mu, who was running ahead, quickened his pace when he heard these words. I'll go. I just came down the mountain and encountered a pervert. Thinking so, Li Mu didn't turn back and pretended not to hear. After walking a distance and confirming that no one was chasing after him, Li Mu slowed down and began to think about what he should do next. Now at the foot of Maoshan Mountain, there is no one robbing on the main road, so there is no source of money. If I had to walk more small paths, I would have encountered 2 or 3 small bandits. With this thought in mind, Li Mu began to walk towards the path. As Li Mu walked, it was already dark in the sky. Due to not taking the main road, there would be no place to rest for a while. I can only keep walking, but fortunately, Li Mu's body can walk for 10.5 days without any problems. Although I don't know if I can handle bullets, a regular steel knife is not a problem, as Li Mu personally experimented with it. On a dark night, the moonlight shone dimly on the path, which extended into the distance, as if a small building with lights appeared before us. There are people in this remote place, looking at the crowds coming and going, they all think it's a small town. But Li Mu didn't see anyone along the way. The voice of people passing by, young people avoiding, came from afar. Chapter 6. Four-Eyed Taoist. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Li Mu heard the sound, he walked in that direction. After all, those who were driving corpses near Maoshan, as long as there were people from Maoshan, they might be his own martial brothers. The next generation has just grown up and should not be able to independently drive away corpses yet. In no time, Li Mu saw a Taoist wearing glasses, followed by a group of walking corpses. Senior brother Simu. After seeing the person coming clearly, Li Mu quickly called out. Are you? He looked at the person in front of him, as if he didn't know him. I am a disciple of the Maoshan Yugue lineage, Li Mu quickly explained, knowing that Simu did not recognize him. Li Mu. The only Maoshan disciple of the Yugue lineage in this generation, said Simu with uncertainty. You should know that the only person in the Imperial Ghost clan is even younger than his disciple. He should not have gone down the mountain now, and he is also a genius in the spiritual body. How could the sect have sent someone down early? Senior brother Simu, it's me. Seeing that Simu didn't quite believe him, Li Mu quickly took out the longevity talisman of Maoshan Taoist. Looking at the receiving talisman in front of me, and then at this person who is only 16 years old, who is the same age as the only person in the Imperial Ghost clan, Four Eyes couldn't help but believe Li Mu. Junior brother, why did you come down the mountain? After confirming Li Mu's identity, Simu asked his own thoughts. The mountain was too boring, so I went down to practice my calendar. Going down the mountain to practice, junior brother, are you at the level of a master now? How can I not see your level? Four Eyes suddenly realized that they couldn't see Li Mu's level. I have already passed the realm of human teacher, and now I am a land teacher. Li Mu, who knew he couldn't hide it, was also calm. Sure exclaimed in shock. You should know that even with so much cultivation, Li Mu is just like himself. Yeah, now the Earth Master has reached 5 levels, so hurry down the mountain to practice your calendar, otherwise there will always be a heavenly master. Li Mu felt that he needed to be more high-profile, otherwise it would be difficult to explain when he would break through to the heavenly master realm. Earth Teacher 5 levels. Four Eyes suddenly felt like their hearts had been stabbed a few times. Why didn't junior brother practice on the mountain until the heavenly master came down? The world is not peaceful now. After all, he is a genius of his own sect, and Simu doesn't think of any problems. It's not that I feel like my cultivation has slowed down, I feel like I'm stuck in the 5th level and can't break through. Let's go down the mountain and practice to see what I've gained. Li Mu didn't tell Simu the truth. After all, it's difficult for me to die now, and there are some things I can do, but I just need to know about them. Simu feels even more uncomfortable. How long have you been practicing? This is considered a limit, so don't you, who hasn't broken through 1 or 2, need to live anymore. Cannot compare. Cannot compare. Senior brother, why are you driving corpses near Maoshan? Seeing Simu's not very good-looking expression, Li Mu quickly changed the topic. This is no longer near Maoshan. It will take 2 days to get to Maoshan from here. Junior brother, wouldn't he not know? Ah. I just came down the mountain today and just walked around like this without stopping. I thought it was near Maoshan. Li Mu really didn't feel like he had walked that far, after all, he didn't feel tired. What? Junior brother, how did you get here? Four Eyes were shocked. After all, it's impossible to walk from Maoshan to here in a day. I have someone who practices physical fitness. As you know, the Imperial Ghost lineage is more easily influenced by ghost energy, so I put in more effort in practicing physical fitness and have achieved some success. I don't even know if I came here while walking. Li Mu said nonchalantly. Looking at Li Mu, who didn't pay much attention, his eyes only felt a chill in his heart, and Dao Xin felt a sense of collapse. Is this still human? How come I don't feel like I'm just walking to the point where I pay so much attention to refining my body? Are I really that useless? Li Mu looked at his collapsing eyes and realized that he seemed to have said the wrong thing again. It felt like nothing was right. By the way, senior brother knows what the situation is with that eerie building over there. At this moment, Li Mu remembered the scene he had just seen and asked Simu. Lu Zi. There are no people around here. Chapter 7. Ghost Tower. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Upon hearing the 4 words, Li Mu knew that this matter was not that simple. After all, it was too far away just now, and he didn't notice anything for a while. Now it seems that he needs to investigate it carefully. Senior brother, it seems that this matter is not that simple. I'll go investigate, Li Mu said to Simu. I'm with you, there might be some demons and monsters, and we'll also have some support. Simu also felt that the situation was unusual. Forget it, senior brother. You still have to take care of these customers. If there's any problem, why don't you compensate? Li Mu didn't really want to go with Si Mu. After all, he wanted to test his ability to deal with illness and see if he had any money. How can this be done? Junior brother, you have strong abilities, but you don't have much experience. If something happens, it won't be good. Your senior brother and I have traveled in the martial arts world many times, and with rich experience, it's easy to see what's wrong. Si Mu didn't want his Maoshan sect to just produce a genius and have an accident here. Senior brother, actually I'm here to rob the rich and help the poor. Let's act according to the situation. Li Mu thought for a moment, and he probably wouldn't object to the performance of the four eyes in the movie, so he said directly. Robbing the rich to help the poor. What does that mean? Four eyes don't know what's related to robbing the rich to help the poor. Of course, it's the rich who rob bandits and demons that help me out of poverty, said Li Mu with a righteous expression. Upon hearing these words, Si Mu couldn't react for a moment. This is robbing the rich to help the poor. Good guy, speaking so eloquently about the robbery, shameless enough, his eyes secretly thought to himself. Why is it not robbing the rich to help the poor? Senior brother, do these bandits and demons seem to be ruthless towards the rich? And your junior brother, I just went down the mountain to practice, isn't it very poor? So, after all, is it robbing the rich to help the poor? Li Mu said solemnly. Good guy, junior brother looks very righteous, but he's actually full of bad luck. When I first went down the mountain to practice my calendar, I was afraid of poverty. Now that I have money, I still save so much. It's robbing the rich to help the poor. Your senior brother and I are also very poor, so we can divide the meeting in half. Of course, Si Mu won't miss such a good opportunity. Senior brother, are you really poor? You four-eyed, if you hadn't known you had a box of gold bars, I would have been deceived by you. Of course, how did junior brother get to such a remote place? If it weren't for me driving the corpses, I wouldn't have walked so remote. There wasn't a place to rest, not even a village or a shop. Seeing Li Mu's disbelief, he knew where to expose it, and his eyes quickly changed the topic. Of course it's an opportunity for bandits to rob, otherwise how would I rob the rich to help the poor? A small building appeared not far away, with no popularity among the people. Instead, there was a lot of ghostly energy, giving off a gloomy feeling. Wow, it's actually a ghost building. It looks like it's about to form a ghost market. Senior brother, are we going to open a ghost market here? Li Mu looked at those ghosts and said with some uncertainty. After all, there are real ghost markets in this world, usually opened by some sects, scattered cultivators, and some less evil demons and monsters. Now this place is not far from Maoshan, and if a ghost market is really opened, it must be presided over by Maoshan. Have you never heard of a ghost market going on here? If it really does, they will notify us. After all, senior brother Lin and I live on this side. Looking at the many ghosts coming and going, Si Mu was not very sure. Why don't we first ask the sect for clarification before making any plans? These ghosts look quite lucky, and it wouldn't be good if we robbed our own people wrong. Seeing four eyes uncertain, Li Mu didn't dare to take action for a moment. Well, let's step back first. Let me ask the sect. Chapter 8. Terrifying Diseases and Mysteries. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Then Li Mu and his companions retreated to a hidden place, and Si Mu began to contact the sect. As the round light technique was applied, Elder Maoshan appeared on the light screen. It's Si Mu and Li Mu, what happened? Master Uncle, Li Mu and Si Mu quickly shouted. It's like this, there are many ghosts and monsters gathering here, and there is a phenomenon of forming ghost markets coming and going. I dare to ask if the sect wants to open a ghost market here. Si Mu quickly asked. No, if the sect opens a ghost market, it has always been presided over by the Imperial Ghost Clan. You should ask Li Mu about this matter. The elder smiled and looked at Li Mu. Ah. Senior uncle, I just went down the mountain to practice. How could I know about these things? You also know that my master and his team are closed again. I am the only one in the Imperial Ghost clan, and I know many things. I don't know who to ask, let alone what to ask. As the elder pushed the matter to himself, Li Mu quickly pretended to be pitiful. After all, when it comes to saying that I don't even know about the Ghost clan, what should I do to punish myself? Children who cry have milk to eat and are loved by others. You little slippery kid, the elder said with a smile. All right, I'll report this matter to the sect and have someone handle it. After all, gathering numerous ghosts and monsters is not a good thing, and it's not something that one or two people can handle. Elder, can I handle it myself? Li Mu quickly said, how could the duck I got make it fly? What is your sect now? With so many ghosts and monsters, it's not something one or two people can handle. Being able to handle, is afraid of hitting one's own person. Li Mu quickly covered his mouth and said. The elder didn't know what to say for a moment. Elder, you see these two masters are here now. The sect cannot send the heavenly master over, right? Isn't it the same now? Li Mu quickly said. That's right. You two can't fight, running is not a problem, be careful. The elder agreed, feeling that the situation was the same as what Li Mu had said. Junior brother, can we both handle it? After disconnecting the spell, Simu said anxiously. Don't worry, senior brother. I will forcefully suppress those ghosts, rob their money, and then buy them to the underworld. Listening to the words of these bandits, Simu felt that Li Mu was too talented to be a Taoist. If he were a bandit, he would still be a king of the mountains. Li Mu and Simu approached the small building amidst the greedy gaze of the ghosts. The ghosts who came and went suddenly quieted down and looked at Li Mu and Simu together. Cough, cough, cough. Li Mu didn't waste any time and directly activated the power of the sickly rules, deliberately avoiding the 4 objectives. The sound of coughing echoed around him. Cough, cough, cough. The ghosts also started coughing, and the sound of coughing was deafening in this area for an instant. This. 4 eyes didn't know what had happened for a moment, so they quickly turned to Li Mu, who was the first to cough. Li Mu mischievously blinked at them, and 4 eyes was already shocked and speechless. Cough, cough, cough. The sound of coughing echoed, weak, uncomfortable, and desperate to leave the world. As all the ghosts coughed, they slowly felt extremely weak, as if they were about to disappear at any moment. They were panicked and desperate, wanting to escape from this square place, but they found themselves so weak that their bodies began to blur, let alone escape from here. With a loud bang, it turned out that Li Mu and Simu were each holding a ghost collection bag and starting to collect ghosts. The bag was not big, but now Li Mu and his team are controlling your size and forcefully squeezing in, and the weak ghosts have no ability to resist. Chapter 9. Wealth and Misfortune. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In no time, Li Mu and Simu finished capturing all the ghosts. This was the easiest time for Simu to capture ghosts, including 1 or 2 ghost generals. You should know that ghosts have the same level as Taoists in the 5 major realms of Wandering Soul, Evil Ghost, Fierce Ghost, Ghost General, and Ghost King. Now he will be easier to catch ghosts than to catch chicks, and his eyes feel very unreal. Without the support of all the ghosts, the haunted buildings immediately became dilapidated, with bones everywhere. There are also copper coins, silver, and ocean money and some goods scattered everywhere, and even a lot of gold and jewelry. Senior brother Simu, we have made a fortune, but I haven't divided it much, have we? Of course it's 5 or 5, said Simu naturally. I mean, can I take more jewelry and gold, and less silver and copper coins? After all, it's not easy for me to take them alone. Li Mu doesn't care much about money, he just needs to spend enough, and he doesn't have the habit of being a miser. Cough, okay, I have a zombie to help me pick it up, said Simu, who knew he would be mistaken. After dividing the money, Li Mu didn't pay much attention to it, but Simu was quite clear, with about 50 to 60,000 yuan per person. You should know that in this era, 2 or 3 yuan is enough for a family of 5 to live for a month, and 50 or 60,000 yuan is already a huge sum of money. With so much money, Li Mu no longer had the idea of robbing the rich to help the poor, and directly received it into the spiritual universe. Li Mu also realized that the spiritual universe could hold things when he was picking up his luggage in Maoshan, but the space inside was different from the real world. It feels like a galaxy is already the size of a few hundred square meters in reality, and placing it on the edge of the universe will not have any impact. Looking at the money that belonged to Li Mu in front of him disappearing in the blink of an eye, his eyes suddenly turned pale with shock, thinking it was all fake. I quickly checked my pile and felt my hand feel real, but it didn't disappear before I finally felt at ease. Junior brother, why is your money missing? Looking at Li Mu calmly, his eyes knew that this god must be related to Li Mu. I've taken it, I don't have much room for mustard seeds, that's why I want gold and jewelry. Li Mu had no intention of concealing it, unless he didn't use it, otherwise it would be exposed sooner or later. Besides such good abilities, how could Li Mu not use them? Upon hearing Li Mu's casual words, Simu couldn't do anything and could only envy, and hate. You should know that the mustard seed space is something that you have seen in mythological scripts and know it is something you cannot have. It is said that the leader of the Maoshan sect also has storage space, but you have also seen it with 4 eyes. Simu placed his own money on the zombie and asked the zombie to help him bring it back to the dojo. Looking at Li Mu who had not taken anything, his eyes turned red. Senior brother Simu, should we invite the ghost to buy the ghost and gain some virtue? Looking at Simu, who was envious and jealous, Li Mu quickly said that he might want to rob himself. Ah. Yes, there is still Inda that hasn't been taken. Let's work together to bring in the ghost devil. As Li Mu and Simu cooked, for ghosts came soon. Li Mu didn't want to eat dirt, so he let Simu communicate with them. At X. At /. Not long after, Simu and the others agreed. Li Mu and the others even gave the ghost bag to the ghost messenger, otherwise there would be 10 or even 1,000 ghosts and monsters who wouldn't be able to bring them back to the underworld with just these ghost messengers. When the ghost sent the ghost back to the underworld to pay tribute to Li Mu and the others, he quickly checked the 4 purposes in the life and death book. Moreover, with the great contribution this time, it is not justifiable not to give Simu a official. In addition, there are a bunch of ancestral masters in the underworld, so Simu must not be at a disadvantage. When we were checking Li Mu, there was a big problem. Chapter 10. Reincarnation Mighty Li Mu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When the judge used the life and death book to examine Li Mu's life, he suddenly realized that there seemed to be no such person. It should be noted that the life and death book can not only trace back to this life, but also several previous lives. People like Li Mu who have no past life or present life have appeared for the first time. Yen Wang, it's not good, there's an error in the life and death book. The judge quickly ran to find Yen Wang. How could it be? The life and death book is a divine tool that connects heaven and earth. How could it be wrong? The king of hell took the life and death book and checked it. No mistake, this is not good. Judge, you're playing with me, right? The king of Yen looked left and right but didn't see any problem, so he immediately questioned the judge. No. King Yen, isn't this where thousands of ghosts and monsters were captured in the human world of Maoshan? When I was recording the achievements of Maoshan Taoist, one was good, but the other's life and death book couldn't find anything, but it was confirmed that this person was there again in Maoshan. The judge saw the King Yen ask himself and quickly explained the situation. What? The person who cannot be found in the life and death book. Is there such a person confirmed? What is their name? Tell me the specific situation. The judge, who didn't seem to be lying, was also shocked and quickly asked. Maoshan Imperial Ghost Clan Limu. After receiving the information, the King of Hell immediately checked the life and death book and found that, as the judge had said, nothing could be found, as if there were no such people in heaven and earth. Are you sure there is such a person? Said the King of Hell uncertain. There's such a person, why don't I come over to Maoshan to confirm? The judge said when he saw that the King of Hell didn't believe him. No need, knows that the judge is not joking, and the King of Hell did not ask Maoshan to come over to confirm. There is such a person. I can't find the life and death book. Is it a reincarnation power? The King of Hell seemed to think of something. The power of reincarnation. The King of Yen is talking about the power of jumping out of heaven and earth, not in the yin-yang in 5 elements. The judge said with uncertainty. It should be, otherwise there would be no life and death book that cannot be found, said the King of Hell with certainty. What should we do now? Is this achievement still recorded? The judge didn't know how to do it well, so he decided to leave this question to the King of Hell. What do you remember? The life and death book can't display it anymore. Limu had no idea about the affairs of the underworld, and even if he knew it, he wouldn't say anything. After all, he had traveled through time and the true spirit had transformed the world. If the life and death book could display his own situation and make a judgment, it would be a strange thing. Senior brother Simu, I'm going to senior brother Lin's place next. Do you want to go together? I'll hurry up and deliver this batch of customers, so I won't go, said Simu, looking at the treasure on the walking corpse. But it's not far from brother Lin's dojo here, won't you go rest? Limu asked with uncertainty as he looked at the 4-eyed miser. I really don't have time. I went with so much money and didn't want to give Lin Fengjiao a hard exploitation. Are you sure Senior Lin doesn't know? What do you know? I always say it's in a hurry. You should have told Senior Brother Lin that you will come, right? After catching so many ghosts, when the underworld and sect meet, Senior Brother Lin must know that you're here now. Senior Brother, if Senior Brother Lin finds out that you are currently fighting with ghosts and monsters here and doesn't go to find him after the incident is over, would he ask why he didn't go to find him when he was injured? Would he look down on him? If you want to say you're not injured, would he ask why you didn't go find him? You don't see him as a senior brother. You said. I'll go, don't you say anything.